Yeah, man, it's March the 14th, 2022. This is Kevin Christian. And I want to talk about the Comp 1000, the computer literacy class that I'm taking. So it uses the Cengage software and the MindTap. And so I'm assuming that no matter which school you're attending, that the class is probably, the lessons at least are probably very similar. And I've been kind of breezing through this class for the last couple of months, and I had 100 in the class, and so everything was like real easy, and there was a few things that was a little bit time consuming, but overall the class was really easy because you go through, and the way that it works is you watch a little video and then you answer a question on the video, and so it's right then. You have the answer fresh on your mind because you just watched the video. It makes you watch the video. You can't skip it or anything like that, so it makes you watch the video. And some people hate this Cengage thing because of the way that it works like that, but I was talking to this girl that she's like, I'm not a fan of it. And but personally, it's one of those things where, it is time consuming. It does take up your time. But on the other hand, it's kind of forcing you to learn the content. It's making you watch this video, and you can't skip this video. And then once you watch the video, you answer the question on the video. And then it's easy to get the question right because you just watched the video, for the most part. But it makes you watch it. So you really do kind of learn the stuff that it's trying to teach you. And then at the end, it'll ask you the exam. And I guess it depends on the professor that you have, whether or not they'll allow you to make a second attempt or something like that on the exam. Some of my stuff I'm allowed to make a second attempt. But anyway, so what happened was it kind of crept up on me. So this whole thing, like it goes through the different sections, right? And then you get down towards the second half of the semester, and you get into the Microsoft stuff with like Word and Excel and PowerPoint and Outlook. That's the last four sections, and I'm assuming that it's pretty well the same universally for wherever you're going. But so I hit this section for Word, and it's not that it's incredibly difficult, but honestly, I'm a Mac person, and I've been on Mac since 2001. And I originally switched over to Mac because I was tired of the whole virus thing and the pop-ups and all the stupid stuff that just didn't seem to exist with Mac. And then over time, I found out that Macs can be hacked as well. But it doesn't matter. I still like Mac better, and I'm still on my Mac stuff. But I got an Apple laptop, and that's what I'm doing everything on. And but the way that it works, it has these activities, so it's not the same as it was before in the earlier chapters where you watch a video and then you answer a question and that's just it. It's not the same. So what it does in the Cengage software now is it gives you an activity. Like, it goes over the activity, like the lady's like, select this in Word, and then go to this menu and do this and do this and then do this. And then you're like, okay, so, and then you can, at that point, you can do the activity, and that's, you have to do the same activity. Like, you have to perform that act on Microsoft Word. But the thing about it was, like, this whole thing crept up on me because it's so time consuming. It's like there's four sections in the Word chapter, okay? And each section is probably like 40 or 50 activities, and you have to watch. If there's the practice section. First you read the thing, okay, and then you have the practice section where it shows you the activity, and then you do the activity, and then you have to go through that for like 40 or 50 or 60 questions or activities. And so each one takes, 4 or 5 minutes, and it just adds up a whole lot of time. So my advice is don't slip up, because this class was really easy for a while, but it's not that it's not really easy now. But I had 100 in this class until I had this word section, and now I'm running out of time with the whole activities, because it's taken so long to do all of these activities. So, I have a option to do a second attempt, but like I don't want to spend 3 hours doing a second attempt. When I got a 95 in the first place, like, and there was a couple of times where it was very precise about like where you're putting the cursor and things like on these activities. So if you go to highlight something and then use the paintbrush thing, or you go to move a shape to create a text emblem like in a logo or something, like you have to be very, very precise on these procedures. And if you're just like a little bit off, it's like answer incorrect. Or if you're like slip off the I'm using the touchpad. If you slip off the touchpad and like it's like answer incorrect, and you're like, it gives you a couple attempts. But if you got to be so precise. And there was twice that I know exactly what I was trying to do and how to do it and the correct way to do it. But I just kind of slipped up a little bit on the cursor was just a little off, and I missed those. And that's how I missed a couple of the activities that I missed. And I'm just gonna accept it at this point, even though I had 100 in the class. I'm not going, because it doesn't allow you to just go back and fix the one. If you do a second attempt, you got to go through like all 50 activities again, and it takes so long to do that. So be very careful with the cursor and pay very close attention to the practice activity, and then make sure that you do it exactly with the cursor and everything like it wants you to do. With the computer programming degree, just so like this Microsoft stuff, the Word and Excel, this is all like basic computer people stuff for like office type of jobs and things like that. And none of this is why I'm going to college for computer programming, but it is the prerequisite classes before you can take the more advanced stuff. So when you want to get into, program design, or like web development, or PHP coding, or any of that stuff, you have to take Comp 1000 computer literacy, and then like 1001 computer concepts, and those things. You have to take those to get in. You have to take them in order. That's just the way it goes. But I'm still doing very well. But I just want you to know that once you get into those sections, while you thought the class was real easy, you're gonna get blown away by the amount of time that it takes you. So I would say the Word section, I haven't gotten to the Excel section yet. I'm going to start that tomorrow or the next day, and I'm gonna work on it a lot, because make sure that I don't slip up and get behind like I have on this Word section, because it's like it takes so much of your time. And I would say that the 4 sections, the 4 parts of the Word section, the 4 chapters, I would say that that's going to take you 15 hours to do those. I've been working on the section 3 and 4 for about 5 hours, and I still got at least another hour. So I would say give yourself 15 hours to do those. And I'm gonna give you, if you've hung around this long and you really wanted to know, I'm gonna give you the best tip that I figured out. And so it's not cheating, it's legit. If it'll allow you to do this, it allows me to do this. So this practice section, and I don't know if the professors can set it up differently, but I assume that the material is pretty much universal. The practice section is very similar to the exam section. And if you're doing this stuff online, which even if you're going, mine is a hybrid class where I can go to the classes or I can just do it on my at home. All the work's online anyway. Even if you go to class, you're still doing the work online. So you can do the work at home or at class. And in my situation, I don't have to go to the class. I've been a few times, but you don't have to go. But anyway, so The practice section and the exam section, and I don't know if your professor requires the practice section, but I would recommend it because otherwise you may be a little lost on the exam section. You don't want to mess that up because that's like your grade and you're in college paying for this. So, but the practice section and the exam section are very similar. They're almost the same. So here's what I did, okay? And it's I haven't seen any reason why this is not completely legit, but I would do like 3 or 4 or 5 of the practice section and then close that out and go to the exam and do those 3, 4, or 5, and then it's fresh on your mind. So you're not doing 50 activities and then going to the exam and starting on your 50 activities and trying to remember each one. You know, you can do a few from the practice and then a few from the exam, and it's fresh on your mind. You just did that 10 minutes ago, so you could remember it better, you know? And so that's the way that I've started doing it now, where, you know, there's so many activities and each one is, you know, 5 or 6 minutes or whatever. It's like I don't want to have to remember so much stuff. So it helps me to do it that way. And it's all fresh on my mind, and I can go do, you know, 5 questions on the practice and then switch over to the exam and do 5, and they're all fresh on my mind, and I can just jump right in and do it, you know. But, you know, all together, I would say, if you're taking that class, whether you're in the computer programming degree or not, because a lot of people that are just taking that as like an elective type of class, it is a very helpful class, the Comp 1000, with the basic stuff. Like, you know, a lot of administrative type of jobs, you're going to need to know about PowerPoint and Excel and Word and all of those things. So those are good programs to just kind of learn your way around anyway. Even if you're not a Windows person, because in the corporate world, it's a big thing, you know, everybody uses that, and that's just what it is. So you need to know it. You need to know that stuff. And I would say, you know, I'll give a thumbs up to the Cengage MindTap software on that particular class, the Comp 1000 computer literacy, because the way that it makes you have to go through these lessons, it does make you learn the programs, you know, the Word and Excel and all of that stuff. You know, you'll be proficient in those things after you go through the course. So, you know, it's recommended, but by me anyway. So yeah, but if you get a chance to, you know, if you're doing that class, you might want to do a few of the practices and then go and do a few of the exams and then switch back to the practice and then switch back to the exam and just switch back and work your way through the 40 or 50 or 60 activities, rather than trying to pile them all into your memory, which is almost impossible. And it makes it very difficult, especially if you're not somebody that's been working on those programs anyway. So anyway, I'm heading into week 9, and right now I've got 100 in computer concepts, 1001, and then the Comp 1000, I just posted a 91 and a 95 to go with my other 2100. So it's going to bring me down to probably a 99 or a 98 or something like that. But you know, it's fine. I'm disappointed. I wanted to make a perfect score, but it's okay because I'm not going back and doing all of those over again. It's just very time consuming. So make sure you allot yourself plenty of time to do those sections, because it'll sneak up on you while you thought the class was just something you could breeze through, and then those sections hit you and it just takes up so much time. So you need to give yourself plenty of time to do those things. Otherwise, I just started what they call a mini semester, where they cram a whole semester into half a semester. So I'm going into week 9. This is the 9th week, and I've started an English class just to get the extra credits, because I don't want to take forever to get this degree. So I'll let you know how that goes. So you know, it's just in the first week, but I've finished my assignments and scored 100. So, but I'll be getting into the more advanced stuff in the next couple weeks. But I kind of like writing and It's yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you more about that class in the weeks to come. So I'm doing 3 classes now. Then I can do 2 classes in the summer and 3 classes next semester, and that'll balance out to a full time schedule, and I'll get the full credits that I need to be on a pace for full time and do like a 5 or 6 term, less than 3 years for the associates, probably about 4 years for uh, 2 associates if I double major with cybersecurity, like I'm kind of planning on doing so. And then from there, I want to move to a more reputable school for the future. But anyway, that's what's going on. That's my advice for the Comp 1000 class. That's it. Thank you for watching.